You're looking for a mower that won't quit on you the first time you hit a steep hill, that won't turn your weekend into a half-day chore, and that actually just works after you bring it home. It's easy to get lost in a sea of horsepower numbers and deck widths when what you really need is something you can rely on, that feels comfortable to drive, and that gives you a clean cut without emptying the wallet. I felt the same hesitation before I started researching zero turns for a family with an acre yard, and the biggest fear turned out to be buying a machine that sounds great on paper but ends up being a headache in the driveway. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's talk about the Ariens IKON 48-inch model with the 21.5 HP Kawasaki twin-engine setup. The first thing that struck me while digging through forums and owner videos was how often people mention the real-world feel of a mower. That's not about the glossy brochure, it's about how the mower handles a patch of uneven grass, how the steering responds when you're trying to hug a flower bed, and whether the deck actually stays level when you're cutting a slope. In everyday use, the IKON's two-cylinder Kawasaki engine feels surprisingly smooth for a machine this size. It revs up quickly enough to keep a steady blade speed even when you hit a thicker, wetter patch, which means you're not left with those unsightly streaks that some lower-powered zero turns leave behind. If you have a medium to large lawn, think anywhere from a quarter acre up to about 3/4 of an acre, the 48-inch deck hits a sweet spot. It's wide enough to slice through a lot of grass in each pass, but still compact enough to maneuver around a typical suburban garden. I watched a homeowner with a 0.6-acre yard use this mower for a full trim, and the entire job took under an hour. That's the kind of efficiency you want when you're juggling a busy schedule. The zero-turn steering itself is buttery, the left and right levers feel independent, so you can pivot on a dime and get around tight corners without the mower digging into the soil. For anyone who's ever tried to navigate a traditional riding mower around a vegetable patch and ended up mowing half the lawn twice, that precision is a real time saver. Now, let's get into who should actually consider buying this. If you're a homeowner with a fairly open lawn, a few gentle slopes, and you already own a decent trailer or have a garage big enough to store a 48-inch mower, the IKON fits nicely. It's also a solid match for anyone who already knows they need a zero-turn, maybe because you have a lot of landscaping features, a lot of edging to do, or you simply want to cut mowing time in half. The twin Kawasaki engine gives you the extra torque when you're working on a hill, which is something single-engine units sometimes struggle with. That extra power also translates into a smoother ride when the grass is thick, so you won't feel the machine shudder under load. On the flip side, if you're living in a small townhouse with a patch of grass no larger than 10,000 square feet, you'll probably be overpaying for a deck that big and for the twin-engine setup. The IKON's footprint is more than you need, and the cost of fuel and maintenance goes up with two cylinders. Also, if you're not comfortable with the dual-lever steering system, some first-time zero-turn owners find the learning curve a little steep. There are simpler push-type mowers that get the job done without the extra mental gymnastics. Finally, if you have limited storage space, remember that this mower sits on a fairly large frame. You'll need a garage or a sizable shed, otherwise you'll be fighting the elements each time you pull it out. What about the practical strengths that actually matter after you open the box? First, the deck design includes a self-propelled cutting system that helps the blades stay level even when you're on a slope. I saw a homeowner mowing a 4% incline and the cut remained even, which is something many zero-turns can't claim. Second, the mower's deck height adjustment is intuitive. You just twist the lever and the deck clicks into place, giving you precise control without having to crawl under the mower to make tweaks. That's a small convenience that adds up when you're adjusting the cut several times a day in varying weather. Third, the overall balance of the machine feels right. The weight is distributed evenly, so when you come to a stop the mower doesn't tip forward or rearward, something that can be a safety concern on uneven terrain. Every mower has a few trade-offs, and the IKON is no exception. The most common practical complaint I came across is the fuel consumption. Two 21-horsepower engines guzzle more gas than a single-engine counterpart, which can add up if you're mowing weekly during a long grass season. It's not a deal-breaker, but